From in the beginning to the musical apocalypse, this is The Bible Says What? I'm your host, Mike Wiseman. Belief and wordplay. Many believers will play word games with you and try and make their strange beliefs sound better or make you sound like a believer yourself. It's a slippery slope from word games to, see, you're aware of a higher power, or, oh, look, you have faith too. You have to be careful with what you're agreeing to. Now, I'm not a fan of word games, but I do enjoy pushing back and making them work for it. It's all in the wording, and Christians love twisting words. At the core of their arguments and tactics, no matter how believers try and spin it, it's all just make-believe based on assumptions and tingles. Let's start the show.
Is there anything in the Bible that you yourself have an issue with? Okay, so it took you reading the Bible to realize that those things were bad for you?
Yeah, it actually did. I
Couldn't
didn't
figure this out on your own?
No, Ted Bundy could be redeemed. God doesn't kill children.
What do you think the Passover was? Yahweh sets up a whole system in the Old Testament where you slaughter animals just so he's able to forgive you.
Today's special guest is Tim Doyle. Welcome to the show, Tim.
Michael, pleased to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
Thanks for coming on. Thanks for taking the time. Tell us a little bit about what you do.
What I do? Well, I'm retired from government work in the United States. Currently, I'm living in China.
Gotcha.
And in China, I've been approached by the Chinese people. Their emphasis on education for their children. So they approached me to teach them English because I speak American English. And even though I'm not an English teacher, over the years I have developed to become a very good English teacher. So I teach one-on-one English to the Chinese students in my home. That's what I do for my fun.
Uh-huh.
In my past, I'm a student of the Golden Ones. The Golden Ones are the co-creator gods who are the administrators of this Earth Spiritual Training School. So the first one appeared to me in my meditation back in 1983, a golden light being, radiating gold. Michael, I saw him as clearly as I'm looking at you right now in my mind's eye. And he gave me a necklace. He put a necklace around my neck. It floated across, it's in your mind's eye. So it floated from him to me. He put the necklace on my neck, and it sent a tingling sensation down my body. That was in 83. And then in meditation in October of 2012, a group of spiritual beings entered my meditation. I didn't see them, I just felt them. I've had visitations before where I've actually seen these spiritual beings. But I didn't see these, and this was October 2012, right before the Mayan calendar supposedly ended in 21 December. So in 2013, in February, when I was doing my meditation, they started talking to me more. They've always talked to me. And, you know, when you're little and you hear thoughts in your mind, you don't know if what other people are thinking or what goes through the minds of other people. So I just, I've always heard these words of wisdom telling me what to do or giving me answers and so forth. So it was February of 2013, and they started talking to me, and they told me some things, and I laughed at them. Here I am in 3:30 in the morning doing my Kundalini yoga in the dark, laughing at my spiritual teachers who I didn't know who they were at the time. And then about a day later, they woke me up at 2:30, telling me to go to the computer and write everything I heard in my mind. So I went to my computer, I turned it on, sat down, and whatever came in my mind, I just typed it.
Hmm.
When I got to the end, I read it, and I thought, wow, this is pretty interesting. And I says, I can't take credit for this, so how should I sign this? And they said, sign it the golden ones. So that was the first time in 2013 I was introduced formally to the golden ones. And
Gotcha.
so after that, for the next probably 50 or 60 days, I would wake up at 2:30 in the morning. They would wake me up. I'd go to the computer. They would tell me something. And through the day, I would experience what they told me, Michael, to authenticate what they were telling me. So I knew it was the truth. All right.
Okay.
So anything that's on my website that is written comes from the golden ones, and it's what I believe to be is the truth.
What you believe to be the truth. Okay. All right. That's a lot there. Thank you. That's a lot. So as a non-believer, it's a little hard for me to accept all that.
Okay, that's okay.
So I have lots of questions, of course.
Good,
So
good.
first-
I like questions.
Good. First question. Who gave them the name the Golden Ones? Did they give themselves that name, or did you give them that?
No, I didn't give them that name. They told me in my mind to sign the paper. But the first channeling is the golden ones. That's just the name they gave me.
Golden Ones.
To indicate. Well, see, that kind of makes sense to me because when the first one that appeared to me back in 1983, he was all dressed in golden, radiating garments.
Oh, gold is such an ugly color, though. Why would he choose gold?
These were like bright, radiating colors. It wasn't
even
like
worse.
a dull gold. It was radiating bright.
Yeah, I don't like that color. It's not my thing.
Well, yeah. I'm not
Weird.
partial to anything.
Did they say why they chose that color?
No.
No.
Didn't ask them.
Name or color. That's very strange. Very strange to choose bright gold like that. Interesting. So they gave themselves the name Golden Ones, and they look like they're gold. How did they? You said mind's eye. Can you explain that for me?
Oh, sure. Well, if you closed your eyes and I said, Michael, think of a tree, you would see a vision of a tree in your mind. It could be an oak tree. It could be an apple tree. The apples, I'd say instead of apples, put bananas on the tree.
Oh, there you go.
You would put bananas on the tree.
So I'm using my imagination.
Right.
My mind's eye is my imagination. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So using my imagination, I can come up with all kinds of things.
Well, you can. Have you ever meditated, Michael?
Maybe. I'm not really sure if you call it official, but maybe. Let's go with that.
Okay. Well, if you see, I've been meditating since 1970. Well, I don't meditate anymore. And when I was first meditating, you come in contact with your higher self. And it's not just your imagination. It's like you feel sensations and so forth.
What does that mean, higher self? What does that mean?
Higher self.
Contact with your higher self.
Well, for example, I call the higher self universal mind.
Okay.
There's a frequency in your mind. I call it the God frequency, where God is, or universal mind is constantly talking to us in every moment, and we're not trained to listen. And when you train yourself to listen, you can hear what the guidance is from universal mind.
There's a lot there, Tim. So I use my mind's eye, my imagination, to contact my higher self, which is a frequency of God. And I have to be on the right frequency to hear this? Is that how that works? Okay. So, and you only reach that frequency in meditation?
No. Back in 1983, when I was studying to become an ordained metaphysical minister, my teachers told me an exercise I had to do for 28 days to put a ring on my finger. And at the beginning of the day, and if I noticed the ring during the day, I had to think about what I was thinking about, what my thoughts were. So I would have to stop and say, what am I thinking about? and then question what I was thinking about. And if it wasn't loving, uplifting, positive, encouraging, compassionate, get rid of the thought. So I had to do this for 28 days of changing the ring to another finger, going through the exercise for every day. And at the end of 28 days, well, at the end of first of all, like at the end of 2 weeks, I could see thoughts coming to me, the same negative, mundane thoughts coming to me, and I would just tell them the thoughts to go away. And then after 28 days, I could hear my teachers much more clearly when they want to talk to me. That's why I don't meditate anymore. I can just, if I need a question, I can just ask them, and they tell me what the answer is, or they guide me.
Gotcha. So like in real time, you can ask these golden ones things, and they will answer you.
Exactly.
Amazing. So like we can do this in real time. We can do this like right now, and you can talk to them, and they'll say things to you.
True.
Wow. All right. Well, we'll test that later for sure. Teachers can.
Okay.
Because I want to know. All right. So why you? Why do you think the golden ones have chosen you?
You know, Michael, I don't know, and I don't even ask that question. I don't even go there. I don't want to think about it. But when I started to meditate back in 1971, I started to meditate. And when meditating, I had this desire to be the best servant for God. I wanted to serve God with my whole heart, soul, mind, and body.
Wow.
And my desire was to be the best servant for God. And during my meditation, I raised the Kundalini. I don't know if you know what the Kundalini is.
Not a chandelier, I'm guessing.
No, it's not a chandelier. It's the energy in your root chakra.
I don't know what that is either. What's a root chakra?
Okay. Well, you have 7 chakras in your body.
I have 7
centers.
chakras?
Energy centers in your body. Yes, you do.
In my body?
In your body. In your spiritual body.
Oh, so my ghost version of me.
Well, let's say your light body version of you, okay?
And how do we know I have a light body version of myself?
Because everybody is created in the image and likeness of God.
Okay, well, how do we know we all have light bodies inside of us? Have we seen these light bodies?
Well, let me ask you, when God created you...
I don't believe that happened either, though, Tim.
Oh, don't you?
No, sorry. Yeah, non-believer. Non-believer. I don't believe God created me.
Okay, then, so you have no connection to anything outside of yourself, Michael?
My family, my dog, things like that.
Okay. Michael, do you have any fears?
Yes, a fear of spiders.
Michael, would you like to get rid of that fear right now in 15 seconds?
Well, I'm actually working on that myself. I'm doing a little experiment. I have a spider in my office here next to me, actually, on my desk. I bought a tarantula, and it's a thing, and it's all sitting right here. And it's actually really helpful experiencing and watching and interacting with him. I'm so much less fearful. I'm still scared to death to open the thing, but it actually works. It's actually making me more comfortable around him. So yeah, that's how I do it. That's how I'm particularly doing. But do you want to do it through the golden ones? Can they do that for me?
No, this is something that everyone can do for themselves. If you
right.
know, it's like brushing your teeth. If you know you can brush your teeth, all right? So it only takes 15 seconds.
I like 15 seconds. Go. Let's go.
Okay. So what you have to do is put your left hand above your navel.
Oh, why?
Why? Because the fears are in your solar plexus, which is your 3rd chakra. And what you have to do is there's a lot of people have many different fears. And so you can't just say, oh, I want to get rid of spiders. You have to pull up a feeling of the fear. And that fear is in your 3rd chakra. That's where we house our feelings. And then you put your hand on your heart. And once you activate the fear,
Okay.
All right. You have to just say, "Oh,
My
I'm
heart.
afraid of spiders."
Right hand over
No,
my
you
heart.
have to feel
My left
the
hand.
fear.
Or
No,
the right one?
left hand. Yeah.
Left hand.
Left hand above your navel, your belly button.
Got it. Left hand above my navel. Well, that's up. That's above it.
Right hand. Right hand on your heart.
Right hand on my heart. Okay, go.
Right. All right.
Chakra.
Now you have to feel the fear.
Oh, I'm feeling it. I'm just thinking about opening that tank right now. I'm just feeling it.
Okay,
All right.
good. All right. Now repeat after me.
Repeat
This,
after me.
this feeling is not mine.
This feeling is not mine.
This feeling does not belong to me.
This feeling does not belong to me.
I release this feeling in love
I release this feeling in love
now and forever.
now and forever. I think we're past 15
Amen.
seconds here. Amen. What? Am I supposed to feel something? A tingle? Is it a spider tingle? There's like a Spider-Man tingle? I don't feel it.
Well,
I don't feel anything. I'm still scared of that
okay.
spider. Sorry, man.
Okay, well, probably because you didn't believe it was going to happen.
Oh,
Okay?
Tim.
Michael, come on now.
Oh, Tim. Don't use that. Come on. Of course I wanted it to happen. Of course I believe. Here I am believing. I'm believing. It's going to happen. I don't know how else to do this, Tim.
Michael, I do this with people around the world who have fears for 10, 15 years of water, snakes, bugs, heights, and so forth.
Well, it didn't work
It's
on
gone
live
in
television
15
here.
seconds. If your heart is into it and you really wanted to do it, and if you want to believe, right?
I hear the same thing about
God.
God.
The creation process.
Does it work the same way with God?
Well,
as long as I believe.
You don't have to believe in God. You just have to believe that there's something that's more powerful than you that controls all life.
Why do I have to believe that, Tim?
God doesn't have to be because what's more powerful than you? Are you the most powerful thing in the world?
Probably not. That's yeah.
Okay.
No. So why do I have to believe in that though? Like a specific being that's more powerful than me. Why do I have to believe?
It's not a specific being. This is what you don't have to. It's a force that keeps the oneness of the creation together.
I've seen that movie.
Working for the oneness of creation.
There's a bunch of wars and stars. Would they use the force? I've seen that one. So is that what you're telling me? The force is real? Is that what we're using?
Well, okay. Do you know what karma is?
I've heard of it. Yes. I don't believe in it.
Do you kill, Michael? Do you kill anything?
Do I kill anything?
Yeah.
Well, there are certain bugs that I will not allow in the house, and I will slaughter them. Yes.
Okay. Do you kill people?
No.
Why?
Because I believe in doing less harm. That's how I
Michael,
function.
How did you learn to believe that?
To believe doing less harm? No, it's not a belief really. It's a way of life. Do less harm. If there's a situation and you can fix it by doing less harm, let's do it. Let's do it.
Do you steal?
Do I steal? Ooh,
yeah.
I've stole internet before. Things like that. Like, what do you mean? Like candy bars?
Well,
no.
Anything. Did you steal anything?
Like I said, some internet here and there.
Are you abusive to people?
No, try not to be. I try to be as nice as possible.
Well, how did you learn to do that, Michael? How did you learn to be like that?
I lived my life. I realized that I don't want to have people be mean to me, and I know how that feels. So I'm going to use my empathy and my life experience to react and act in certain ways.
So that's the universal law of cause and effect, that what you do to others will be done unto you. If you do harm to someone else, harm will come to you. If you're loving to others, loving compassion thoughts will come to you. So,
not necessarily. I'm sure there's lots of loving people that Pol Pot slaughtered that they didn't receive the love back from the universe on that one.
Well, maybe they didn't deserve it at the time.
Oh, Tim, let's not go there. Let's not go there, Tim. That's pretty bad. Let's not do
Why?
that. Why? You're
Well,
telling
why?
me these people deserve to die or something? What's going on here? Let's dive into
Michael,
it then.
if you want to dive into it?
I mean, you want to? Let's go.
Okay. So when someone dies, it doesn't mean it's the end of them. It's just
Oh, see, I don't believe that, Tim.
Well,
Yeah.
you don't believe it, but it doesn't mean it's not true.
It doesn't believe
because you don't believe it.
It's just because I don't believe it doesn't mean it is true, though. Just because you believe it doesn't mean it's true. So we have to have what's called evidence for these kinds of things, so that we know for a fact that there is, number one, a God out there. Number two, that you're going to go somewhere after you die. We have no idea of knowing any of these for sure, Tim. There's no way to know for sure.
Michael, no one said that there's a God out there, persona.
A force. Let's go with that. I don't believe there's golden ones. Let's go with that. Let's go right there.
Okay. You don't have.
So how are we supposed to know?
Well, Michael, I don't believe you have a dog.
Okay. Well, I can show you my dog.
Where?
I can go
right
pause
now?
the video, go grab my dog, and bring it here. That's the difference between my dog and your golden ones. You can't go grab your golden ones and bring them here for everybody to see or interact with. That's different, right?
Well, it's different for you. All right, so let's just show. Let's do it. Let's do it this way.
Okay.
Do you have any thoughts?
Yes, I have thoughts.
All right, so show me a thought that you currently have in your mind right now.
All
Show
right.
it to me.
Timothy seems like a nice guy. I'm going to write that down. That's my thought, and I'm going to put it on paper. Timothy seems, again, evidence. I can show you my thoughts by writing them down, Tim.
Well, that's not going to prove it to me that you write something down. I can write down the golden ones and hold it up and show it
So
to
that's
you,
a thought.
Michael.
Exactly. That's a thought. That's not a person. That's completely
I didn't say
different.
I didn't say it was a person.
Things, beings, whatever you want to call them, Tim. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
We don't have to get in the weeds about it. Whatever you want to call them.
Okay.
So that's completely different than thoughts being put on paper. I can put that on paper, my thoughts, so you know I'm thinking. You can't put your golden ones anywhere but thoughts. That's all they are, thoughts and mind's eye, which to me sounds more like imagination.
Oh, well, maybe to you it does, but there's a lot of people that meditate out there that go beyond just their imagination.
There's a lot of people that believe a lot of strange and weird, bizarre things, Tim. That doesn't mean they're true. If everybody on the planet believed that they were abducted by aliens, then that doesn't make it true, Tim. Just because they believe it, we have to have evidence for these things. That's my whole point, is evidence to back up claims. And when I don't see the evidence to back up the claim, I have a hard time believing it, Tim. Don't you feel the same way?
No.
No?
Do you ever get sick, Michael?
Yes, I do, Tim.
Oh, and when the last time you were sick, what did you have? Why were you sick?
Oh, I have children, so it was a cold.
Okay,
They love sharing colds.
Okay, so have you seen that virus cold?
I can look it up on the internet right now, and we can see a microscopic picture of it.
Yeah,
We
but
can
I
see
look
these
up-
things. I can sneeze into a petri dish, and we can see the effects of it. I can see these things, Tim.
No,
I can
you
see
can
them
see
themselves. We can see
Michael,
the viruses. Tim, can we see
Michael,
viruses?
Michael, you can see the effect of
Tim,
the
can
virus.
we see viruses?
You?
This is a great.
By just sneezing? No.
Can we see viruses? I'm going to look this up on the internet while we're sitting right here because I'm very
Okay,
curious.
you look it up.
Can we
If you
see?
believe in Dr. Fauci and you wear
I don't
a
know who that
mask,
is. What's a Fauci? I'm talking about science here. Oh look! I have pictures of viruses and germs. Tim, do we have pictures of the
Right.
golden ones?
right? Well, I can go on the internet and show you pictures of the golden ones.
Pictures drawn, right? They're not actual pictures of the golden ones.
I don't know whether they're drawn or not. They look pretty real to me.
Ah, interesting. So photographic evidence. You're telling me you have photographic evidence of the golden ones
Michael, you've got photographic evidence of a virus.
because they exist, Tim.
Well, yeah. They exist, but can you see them, Michael?
I just told you through a microscope.
No,
yes, I can.
Michael.
Is there a
No,
microscope
Michael.
we can see the golden ones through?
Michael,
Is there a lens?
Michael, if you had cancer, can you see the cancer?
Yes.
No, you cannot. You feel the effects of the cancer, Michael.
Tim, we have the ability to see cancer.
Michael, you can't see cancer. I have the ability to see the golden ones. You don't believe me, and you're telling me
I can use tools, Tim, to see cancer. What tool do you use to see the golden ones?
I
can even use that tool to show you cancer. Can you use a tool to show me golden ones?
You can't show me a virus in your body or cancer in your body. You can show me what someone else did.
Tim,
I can tell you
if we have the right equipment.
Done.
Yes, we can. If we have the right equipment, it's called medical equipment. Medical laboratories. All these things have that ability to see the crap that's inside of you. We
Michael,
still can't
and if
see or share the golden ones.
Michael, if you had the ability to discipline yourself, you could see it.
I don't know what that means.
Oh,
discipline myself. What do you mean by discipline myself?
Do you steal?
I told you.
Do you kill? Do you kill? Do you rob? Are you abusive? You discipline yourself to not indulge in those.
No. I don't discipline myself, Tim. You know, I rob, steal, murder as much as I want to, Tim. As much as I want to. Do you know how much I want to?
Okay, then you don't.
I don't, Tim. It's that easy.
Why?
Because I don't want to. Why would I want to? What good would it do for me to take somebody else's life? Why would I want to do that, Tim?
Why, Michael? Let me ask you something. Why hold on, Michael. Why does someone kill and steal and rob and you don't? And why do I have an association with the golden ones and you don't?
I don't know why.
I don't know,
Tim.
I don't know.
Talk to them. Somebody who does those things. That's why I'm talking to you, because you do these things. You talk to the golden ones. I don't steal, kill, and rob. So that's pointless to talk to me about that.
Yeah, because you've learned.
No, because I know that it's a bad thing, Tim.
How do you know it's a bad thing?
Because it's not beneficial to society as a whole if we just start robbing and killing each other. It's just common sense, Tim. I don't need a golden one to tell me that.
Michael, it's a benefit to you that you don't do it because you don't feel the effects.
Tim, if I steal something from somebody, does that affect them?
It affects you.
Oh my God, Tim. This is a very easy answer. Of course it affects them, Tim. Of course.
It affects you.
Yes. And who else, Tim?
It's between you and whoever you stole it from.
There you go. So it's going to affect somebody else. That's
you
all
and
I'm
the
saying
person
here.
you stole it from.
Right. So it's not just me that gets the effect. So I don't want to do some harm to somebody else. Does that make sense?
Because you learned it's not right to do harm to someone else, Michael.
Yeah. Golden ones didn't tell me. My life experience taught me that stealing is bad.
Right.
Right.
Because you know that if you steal, you know how it feels if someone steals from you.
Right. It's called empathy. Yep.
No, it's called the law of cause and effect.
Well, you can call it whatever you want. But yes. Yes. Either way, I know not to do it. I did not use a golden one.
No.
No. So where does that come from?
Where does what come from? Learning to not to do something?
Learning to not to do something bad. Where do you think it comes from?
It comes from the universal laws of cause and effect that guides the universe.
So what about those people that don't, Tim?
They get karma. They learn eventually. They learn eventually, Michael.
So Hitler learned eventually.
Michael, through life experiences, people learn that when they harm someone, harm comes to them. They feel the effects.
Okay. So we can all do this without the help of any outside force, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know what the point was to that whole thing there. If I can do it on my own, I don't need any spiritual forces.
Well, Michael, you do it on your own. What do you think? What do you think is controlling your life experiences?
Nothing is controlling my life experiences.
You're not aware of it.
Okay, so now so there's something controlling my life that I'm just not completely aware of.
Yeah.
So why? Okay, if I'm not aware of it, and if I think it's myself doing it,
You are doing it.
how are you going? Okay, so I am doing it. So I'm okay. Help me understand, Tim. Help me understand.
Well, Michael, just because you're not aware how your thoughts create your reality doesn't mean that your life is not guided by an outside force.
It doesn't mean it is.
For example, you're married, right?
Tim, that doesn't mean it is guided by an outside force. You have to prove that my life is guided by an outside force, and I'm not making my own decisions. How do we prove that, Tim?
Michael, I don't care what you believe. I'm just telling you.
And I'm asking
that
how? How do we know?
Are you married?
Yes.
Why did you marry this lady?
Because I love her. I mean, these are very simple questions, Tim.
Oh, yeah, it is. And now, how did that event come that you met your wife? How were you guided? How were you
Nobody
guided to meet
guided
your
me,
wife?
Tim.
Michael,
Those are
Michael.
random chance happenstances, Tim.
what?
I don't believe
marry?
anybody's guiding them.
Michael,
Yes.
when you were dating your wife,
Yes.
did you have a vision
No.
in your mind?
No visions.
Michael,
sorry, Tim.
would you let me finish, Michael?
I'm just telling you, I didn't have any
Michael,
visions.
Michael, would you let me
Go ahead,
finish?
Tim. Go ahead, Tim. Go
All
ahead.
right. Michael, come on now. Meet me a little bit here, Michael. Let me explain to you.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Tim. Go ahead.
When you met your wife and you were dating her, did you have a feeling that you might marry her one day?
Maybe. I don't know. Why? Why does that matter?
Why does it matter? Because your feelings and your thoughts create your reality.
Okay, Tim. No.
Oh, so you didn't think you just got up one morning and says, you know what? I'm going to marry this woman.
So you're
No
telling me that
pre-thought.
everybody who sits there and goes, I'm going to think about marrying somebody is being guided by the universe or the force or the golden ones to marry that person?
Michael,
that's weird.
well, it's weird because you don't believe of anything. But just stop and think, Michael. Why do you have a radio show?
Why do I have it? Because I enjoy having the radio show.
But how did it start? Did you have an idea?
Yes, and it was my own idea.
Did you just wake up one morning and say, oh, I got a radio show?
Pretty
Did
much.
you do any plan?
No,
Did you do
really,
any planning?
Honestly, not
Michael-
much planning. So here's how it started, Tim. You ready? I had some conversations. I had them, recorded. And I'm like, you know what? This will be a great show. And my wife said yes. And the next day it became a show. That's it, Tim. That's it. There was no guiding forces. There was no invisible people involved. There was no nothing.
Michael,
In my own thoughts.
Michael, your own thoughts create your reality. You create your reality with your thinking, Michael.
Let's go with that. Yes, I create my reality with my thinking, with my own thoughts. I create reality. It's bizarre, but
Right.
I'm going to go with that. I'm going to agree with you. What next?
Well, that's it. That's the creation process.
Oh, well,
So what other being can do what you do, Michael?
I don't
Can
know.
an elephant create a radio station? No, you can.
I can
You've
create a
got the
painting.
creative energy to create anything you want.
Not really. I can't create anything I want. I couldn't build an engine. I couldn't create. There's a lot of things I couldn't create, Tim. We can't go with
you have
anything I want.
Michael, because you have no interest in it. If you had an interest in doing whatever you wanted to do, you can do it.
Oh, time, Tim. Time keeps me from that. That evil being time stops me from all of that.
Michael, come on, you're making an excuse. You're making excuses.
It may be an
now.
excuse, Tim, but if you can find some time in my schedule so I can learn how to rebuild an engine, there you go. Other than that, it's just whatever I can do at the time. I don't understand where this is going. Like, how is that providing any
What's your
evidence
priority?
for...
Michael, what's your priority?
What do you mean, what's my priority? Like right now, tomorrow?
What's your priorities, Michael?
What are my priorities? Okay, what do my priorities have to do with anything, Tim?
Because what's your priorities are is what occupies your mind.
Okay.
And your mind is the creative process of your reality.
Okay.
So if something is important to you, Michael, you're going to manifest that to make sure that satisfies your creative process.
I'm going to try to. Like when I wrote my book. There you go. I tried to. It's not the best book in the world, but you can get it BibleSaysWhat.com, theBibleSaysWhat.com. Get yourself a signed copy. No, for sure. My thoughts created the reality that is that book. Not somebody else, though. I don't understand. How are we getting from my thoughts to somebody else creating these thoughts for me?
Michael, because each person is a God.
Wow.
Now
Tim.
this is
you just you just took it on a whole nother level. How does that work? How is every person a God?
Because everybody was created in the image and likeness of God.
Well, how do you even know this, Tim?
It's written.
It's written where, Tim? In the Bible?
Yeah.
Yeah, that book that's full of contradictions and horrible things. No, I don't believe you believe that, Tim. You know, just because it's written in there.
There's certain aspects of the Bible that are true, Michael.
Oh, how do you tell the difference, Tim? How do you tell the difference between what's true and what's not true in the Bible?
Well, you feel it.
That's not convincing at all. I feel all kinds of things. Can you trust your feelings, Tim?
Yeah, I trust my feelings.
Interesting.
Now, I trust my feelings to the extent that if I feel good about a person, then I'm more applicable to be nice to them. And if I feel someone's rude to me, it's less likely I'm going to be compassionate towards them.
That's a little different than believing a book, though. If I'm reading a book and I have a feeling that what I'm reading is true, Tim, I'm not just going to believe it.
Yes, you are.
No, Tim. No,
Michael,
I'm sorry. I'm not.
Michael,
if I'm sitting there going, I feel that this book is true, I'm going to investigate to make sure, Tim.
Okay, you investigated, but if you felt it wasn't true, you wouldn't investigate it, Michael.
If I felt it wasn't true, I wouldn't investigate it. I don't think that's true either, because I investigate lots of false claims, kind of like God is love. I investigated that one. Is the Bible true? I investigated that one. Is Christianity the best option? I investigated that one. So yeah, no, that's not true at all. I investigate things that I don't believe are true. That's why I have a show about things I don't believe are true that I've investigated. So yeah, that one doesn't
see, Michael, it's easy for you to disclaim anything anyone says because in your mind, you're just going to say, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Tim, I don't believe it.
I talked to Spider-Man. Do you believe it?
If you feel you talk to Spider-Man, yeah.
You believe that I talk to Spider-Man. If I told you I do it, you're going to believe that? Tim, I don't believe you.
Michael, if you said you talk to your spider, your tarantula, and when you talk to him, he looks at you and you feel connected to him, I would believe you.
Tim, that scares me. Maybe we shouldn't just believe everything, Tim.
Michael, I'm not saying that it would work for me. I'm saying that if
you just said you would believe me if I told you that.
I would believe you because you shared what you felt.
Tim, that's not a good idea.
And I would feel, no, Michael, hold on. And I would feel whether you were being authentic or not.
Tim, you can't feel you can't feel whether I'm being authentic or not. I don't know how you do that. How do you feel if somebody is being authentic or not? Is that a tingle?
Does your wife love you?
Yes. Why do we keep going back to my wife?
Because how do you know she loves you?
Actions, Tim. Actions.
Oh, you feel it?
No, I just said actions. I can see it,
Michael,
through her actions.
Michael, you don't feel it?
Feel her actions or feel her love?
No, Michael.
I feel loved. There you go. I feel loved, but I don't feel somebody else's love. That's a very strange thing to say.
Michael, you don't feel your wife. When your wife caresses you, you don't feel her love?
Well, we're not getting into that, Tim.
Michael, no, we're getting into feelings now. You said, Michael,
that's a
you
physical
asked me-
feeling. That's a physical feeling, Tim. It's a lot different than what you're talking about as an emotional love,
Now,
right?
Michael, let me ask you something. If your wife, if you're sitting across the room and your wife looks at you in a loving way with the way she does, you don't feel that? It's not a physical where she
It's
came
not really
over
a
and
physical.
touched you.
I don't know, Tim. I don't know what you're getting at here. I don't know how I can feel
I'm
that.
getting at that you can feel things from other
I feel
people,
loved.
Michael.
I don't know how I can feel things from other people's emotions, though. Like, that's so weird to me. Like, is it
How
a
do you
psychic
feel loved?
thing?
What do
How
you
does
feel-
that work? I feel loved. I feel loved. I don't feel love from somebody else. I can't send you love through the radio. You can't
Yeah, you
feel
can.
that. You can't. It's not a physical feeling.
Michael, you can. That's what you don't understand. Is that it
Clearly
can
not.
go.
Clearly not.
Okay, it's again, that's your belief system, Michael. And if you want to believe that, then it's not going to be true.
I don't have a belief system, though. That's the thing. I
Your belief
reject the
system
belief
is
system.
your belief system is you don't believe anything, Michael. That's your belief system.
That's called a lack of a belief, Tim. That's not a belief system.
Michael.
Do you have a belief system in Santa Claus, Tim?
Yeah.
You do. You. Okay. So now we're just
believe-
playing with words.
No. Let me ask you something, Michael.
Of course.
Do you celebrate Christmas?
Do I celebrate Christmas?
Yeah.
Yes. With my wife.
Hold on now.
And do I
You've
feel the
got-
have coming? No. I
No,
don't feel
Michael,
it.
come on now.
That Christmas
come on.
spirit?
Do you have children, right?
Yes.
Do you buy gifts for them?
Yes.
Do you wrap them and put them under the Christmas tree?
Yes.
And when they were little, did you tell them Santa Claus was coming?
No.
Michael?
No, I did not.
Michael, so from the time your kids were little, you told them there was no Santa Claus and
Yes.
that you're wrapping these presents
Yes.
because it's Christmas.
Yes.
Okay,
Because it's a
so
national holiday. Let's enjoy it.
So
Let's
you
celebrate.
never pretended to be Santa Claus.
Not even once. Never.
Oh,
I did not want to
see.
lie to my kids. But the funny thing is, my kids, just to be, opposite. Oh, I believe in Santa. No, he's not real. No, where do the gifts come from? So this is the fun part. I asked them, where do the gifts come from? It comes from Santa. Fine. I won't buy any gifts this year. We'll leave it all to Santa Claus. Guess what happened? They changed their story real quick because they know there is no magical man with a beard besides myself. That's it. It's me. I'm the magical man with a beard that wraps their gifts for them. They knew this from the beginning. I'm not going to lie to them about that.
Well, it's not a matter of lying. It's a matter of building their imagination, which is
I can
good
build
for
their
creative
imagination without
aspect.
lying to them, Tim.
But it's not a lie.
It's 100% a lie, Tim. There is no Santa Claus flying around giving gifts.
Okay, now that aspect is true, but there's no lie in pretending that you're the Santa Claus.
Why is that not a lie, Tim?
Well, let me ask you something. Are you always that perfect father that does everything
No.
right in every moment?
Definitely not.
No, but you pretend to your children not to show that aspect of yourself.
No, 100%. I want them to see that I have faults, that I'm not perfect. 100%.
And you spank them and discipline
I apologize
them.
for things. Absolutely, dude. If I do something wrong, I will apologize to my kids. It's the kind of relationship I want to have. I'm not going to lie to them. If I step out of bounds, I apologize. I work on myself. 100%. Santa Claus. Tim. So,
Spider-Man, Mike.
Spider-Man, yes. I talk to Spider-Man. He's in my head. He tells me all kinds of things. He says your golden ones are not real.
Well, that's your belief system.
What makes my belief system different from yours?
Yeah, that's what you believe. A truth
Is
to
mine
you
true?
may not be a truth for you may not be my truth. But we can now we can believe, is the earth round?
Yes, Tim. The earth is round.
Okay.
We
So
have
we
evidence
have
for
a
that.
Right. So we have a truth that we can believe because
Evidence.
it's a truth.
Right, because there's
And
evidence
it's
for
evidence.
it. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So only do you believe in let's see, galaxies?
Sure, I've seen those, so I believe in them. I believe they're real.
Right. Right. Billions of them, right?
Billions of them. I believe they're real.
Billions of them?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, of course. And each galaxy has billions of stars in them.
Who knows? Sounds great. I'll accept it.
But it's true. You know it's true.
I can look it up and I can see pictures. I don't know for
Right.
sure. I'm not an astronomer, man. I have no idea.
Okay.
But I can look these
Okay.
things up and I can verify for myself. I can look at the evidence, Tim. That's what we do. We look at evidence to know things. Otherwise, we're just guessing or using our imagination to come up with things.
Or using your extrasensory perception to perceive.
And you have to prove that we have that, Tim. Where are we
Some
getting this
people
extra
haven't.
sensory?
Some people have it, Michael, and some people
You have to
don't.
prove that people have it, Tim. Who has it
Michael,
specifically?
Michael,
Name one person.
I don't have to prove anything to anyone else because
No.
I don't really care. Michael, hold
I
on,
said,
let
no,
me
you don't.
finish.
I said no.
Okay. Because I can only, if it's a truth to me, it's my truth.
Yes.
Whether you believe my truth or not,
Yeah.
it makes no difference to me.
Right. Well, I'm not trying to convince you. You're not trying to convince me. I'm just trying to understand, Tim. And to me, it just doesn't make any sense. It's not adding up for me, Tim.
Right, that's okay.
Do they
That's
want?
okay.
Do these golden ones want to talk to me? Do they want to help me as well, or no?
No, Michael,
Or is it just
the
you?
rule is everyone has free will. So you don't
Supposedly.
interfere with the free will of anyone else. You allow everyone to be who they are.
So when they contacted you, that interrupted your free will of being who you are. And now you're changed because now you're somebody else who believes in these golden ones. So how is that free will, Tim?
No, Michael, I always believed to be and always felt to love God with my whole heart, soul, mind, and body, and to serve the oneness of creation. I've always felt this. All right. So whether you feel it or not, that doesn't affect me at all. It is only what my feelings are and how I feel and visualize things to be affects my reality. Doesn't affect yours. I don't care what your reality is, Michael.
Well, that's sad. I'm sorry you don't feel that way, Tim.
No, you're not sorry.
I care about your reality. I want to know about it. So that's why we're here, to understand it and know about it. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me, even after this 45-minute conversation, but that's okay. At least, we hashed it out a little bit. We got some of the details. I'm a little more, I guess, knowledgeable on what the golden people are.
They're not people. They're not people, Michael.
Beings. Sorry, whatever you want to call them, whatever you want to call entities. Is that better? I don't know. It just doesn't add up for me, Tim. It doesn't make much sense.
Okay,
but that's okay. We don't have to agree.
Michael, do you believe in extraterrestrials?
Ooh, I don't believe in them, but I don't know, Tim. Maybe
Michael,
they are out there.
You can go on the internet and prove to yourself that
No, Tim, there is no proof of extraterrestrial life, Tim. Otherwise,
Michael,
it would have been a pretty big news story. All we have is hearsay. I talked to a guy who says he got abducted and his Crohn's disease was cured by these angel aliens. Dude, I cannot get behind these stories. They are just too fanciful and they don't add up and there's not enough evidence.
So you don't believe in Area 51
I live
of the United
by
States
Area
government?
51, but no, I don't believe in it.
So you don't believe that spacecraft crashed there in
I don't believe that, no.
1945, even though there's articles and papers on it and so forth?
Doesn't
and
make
you can
it
go
true,
on
though.
Michael, you can go on the internet and get that information and
Tim,
even see pictures of these beings.
Tim.
Yes.
I can see pictures of something, Tim. I don't think it's a real being, though. Oh, man. So how do we decipher the difference in a picture and a photograph between an actual real life being and a model?
Well, how do you authenticate if you go on the internet and see pictures of a virus that it's real or not.
Tim, I told you we can go into a lab and do it, Tim. That's why we have labs. We can go
But
and
you're just
actually do it. We
believing.
can go down together and look inside of a scientific lab and look at things.
And
I can't
Michael,
go
I'm
to Area 51 and talk to an alien.
Oh, you could if the government allowed you to.
Tim, they're not there. I'm sorry. There's not aliens at
Ah.
Area 51. I hate to burst your bubble. I hate it. I'm sorry. I hate to disappoint you.
And have you seen pictures of flying saucers?
I've seen lots of pictures of flying saucers. Doesn't mean they're real. Doesn't mean these pictures aren't doctored in any way. Tim,
So,
we have to be
Michael,
able to experience it in real life. We have to be able to demonstrate these things. And you cannot demonstrate a golden person. Sorry, golden being, entity, whatever they are. You can't demonstrate these things to me. Just like I can't demonstrate Spider-Man is talking to me in my head.
Michael,
Because
it's not my intention to convince you to believe in the golden ones.
Tim, I just want to be understanding of how that works for you. And all of it is not, I'm not understanding it because it just
Well,
doesn't
that's
make
okay.
sense.
Michael, that's okay whether it works for you or not, because you have a mindset that if you cannot see it, touch it, feel it, taste it, hear it, it doesn't exist.
You mean evidence? If I don't have evidence for it, actual evidence.
You
Yeah,
don't,
yeah, that's where I'm at,
right?
Tim. That's 100%.
Right. And so
Why aren't you that way, Tim? Why don't you
am
wait
I-
for actual evidence, Tim?
I have actual evidence.
In your mind's eye, you saw things.
No. In my meditations and what I manifest in my life and things like that.
No. I'm talking about these golden beings. You
Yeah.
manifested them in your mind's eye.
No,
They
I
actually
didn't
physically
manifest
show
them. Michael, I did not manifest these beings that appeared to me. They appeared to me. It's like if I'm sitting there and all of a sudden 3 beings appear in front of me, it's like I didn't manifest them. It just happened.
So with their in
And I
front, oh,
wasn't-
sorry, my bad. I thought they were in your mind's eye. That's how you explained it earlier. So I just wanted to make sure. So you actually saw physical, actual beings. Were you able to touch them, interact with them, or was it just sight?
No, I didn't touch them. They're in a different dimension. They're in a different reality. Like, can you touch wind?
Yes. Wind touches me.
No,
That's
you
how wind
cannot.
works. Wind touches me.
No, can you see wind?
Yes, I can see wind when there's dirt blowing.
No,
in it.
you cannot see.
Just like you
the
can see
effect
Kevin
of-
Bacon when he's invisible and full of fire extinguisher stuff. You can see these things.
Michael, you see the effects of things. You don't see wind.
So if I cover an invisible person with dirt, am I not seeing that invisible person? Am I just
Michael,
seeing
we're
dirt?
talking. Michael, we're
I wanna
talking
know.
about you. We're talking. No, you're changing the subject. Can you
It's the
see
same
wind?
concept.
Can you see wind?
I just told you yes. When
You
there's
own-
dirt inside of it, I can see
No,
it.
no, you
I can see
cannot.
the
You
wind.
see the. No, you cannot see the wind. You see the effect of wind.
Beg to differ, but that's okay. Go ahead. I see the effect of
No,
wind.
you don't beg the difference. You can't.
I do.
You
I do.
can't.
I did, Tim. So go ahead. Let's. I can't see
No.
wind, Tim. Let's go ahead. Let's go with that. I can't see wind.
Okay, so you
Go
can't
ahead.
see it. You
Uh-huh.
you can see the effect of it though, right?
Okay, so let's say I can't see wind, but I can see the effect of it. And how do you know it's not an invisible person blowing?
I don't know. You tell me.
Well, it's very unlikely, Tim.
Well, we believe in the wind, don't we?
I don't believe in the wind. It's not really something I believe in. I'm annoyed by it. I have to deal with it, but I'm not a believer in wind. That's a very weird thing to say. I'm not sure that's how I would.
You believe
approach
in
that.
the existence of wind, right?
I believe in the existence of wind. Okay, there we go. Let's go with that. Yeah.
All right. Okay. let's agree. Let's agree on something that is logical to agree on, Michael, which is that
It's-
wind exists and we see the effects of wind.
It's all just wordplay, but yes, we can see the effects of wind. Go ahead. What next?
Okay. Now, if you're in a vacuum, let's say that you're in a vacuum right now, Michael, okay? And you don't see wind, you don't feel wind, so you would believe wind does not exist because it doesn't affect you.
Like, have I been in this vacuum my whole life, or was I just put in this vacuum? Okay, so I've been in a vacuum my whole life, so I don't believe wind exists. And somebody comes up and starts talking to me about wind, and I'm a wind what would you call that? An atheist, a windist.
Wait a minute. Are you considering yourself an atheist?
A windiest. That's what I would be if I was.
No. You refer to yourself as an atheist. Are you?
Oh, actually, I refer to myself as an agnostic atheist. Yes.
Okay. Well, I don't know what that means. Agnostic
that means I don't know. But I haven't seen the
okay.
evidence, so I'm going to go with no right now.
Okay. All right. So, yes, you've been in a vacuum your whole life, and people talk about wind, and you say, I don't believe it.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Same thing with the golden ones.
Oh, no. You're the only one I've ever heard talk about the golden ones. So you're telling me everybody else knows about the golden ones? And I'm the only one?
No.
The windtheist? The golden one?
No. Everybody, Michael, would you listen? Everyone feels the effects of creation. Now, they don't know where it comes from.
Okay.
But they know that their life, certain events happens in their life.
Yeah.
You created the radio station. Whose idea was it to create the radio station?
Mine.
Right. So you had a thought, something unphysical in your mind, and you turned it into a manifestation.
Chemical reaction. Chemical reactions are how my brain works, isn't it? So that would be physical, is it not?
No, a thought?
Yeah, because it's chemical reactions in my brain. Isn't that not physical?
Let me ask you something. The chemical reactions in my brain of the golden ones, doesn't it make it real?
No, that makes your thoughts physical. That's what I'm saying. Not no, what I'm thinking doesn't. Okay, so if I was thinking of Spider-Man, that does not make Spider-Man physical. That just makes my thoughts. I'm just throwing shenanigans out here. I'm not really sure if our thoughts work that way or how that works. But as far as I'm concerned, it just doesn't make
sense that a thought to create a radio station, and you made that thought into a physical reality, Michael.
Yes, that's how it works. My action, I turn my thoughts into actions.
So that kind of makes you create. That makes you creative, doesn't it, Michael?
You can say I'm creative. That's fine. I'll accept that.
Okay. Isn't God creative?
No, God doesn't exist, Tim.
That's that Michael that's been in a vacuum for a long time. And
man, does God want to have a relationship with me, Tim?
Michael, of course I want to have a relationship with you.
That's silly then. Why have they not contacted me, Tim? Why has the Force, the golden people, not talked to me?
Would you be open to it?
100%. I'm open to all kinds of things, man. I used to watch X-Files. That was my thing, man. I believed all kinds of stuff, man.
I like that style too.
I believed all kinds of things, but doesn't mean it was real.
Did you like Star Trek?
I love Star Trek. Yes, I'm definitely. Who's your captain?
Kirk.
Oh, Picard. Sorry, man. Sorry.
Well, no, I go back to the original one, Kirk.
No, I do love Kirk. He's good, but Picard's definitely the captain for me.
Picard was good too.
Okay, we got off track. We got off track. Sorry.
Okay.
Everybody out there is sleeping right now. Nobody likes Star Trek except for us.
I don't know. Well, maybe so. They're old now. They're outdated.
What about Star Trek?
So there's things like creative energy, Michael. Everyone has this creative energy.
I don't believe it's creative energy. I don't think it's an energy. I think it's just thoughts. Their creations are thoughts. We create these thoughts and then we make them into act. We turn those thoughts into actions, and that's where the creation comes from. I don't think it's an energy. Where's this energy coming from?
Michael, when you had the thought about creating a radio station, how did you feel?
Lots of different emotions. I don't know. Nervous. Doubt. Lots of different thoughts. Yeah. Excited.
But you had feelings, right?
I have feelings, Tim. Yes.
No, Michael, you had the thought of a radio station, and then you thought about it,
Uh-huh.
and you said, man, I could do this. Did you work yourself up where it made you feel good thinking that you could implement a radio station and do what it is you like to do?
No, I didn't really build myself up, Tim.
Oh, come on, Michael. It wouldn't have worked if you didn't say, a radio station. No, why would I want to do that? Michael, you did
Tim, I
it.
didn't
You were
build
exci-
myself up for it. I just kind of did it. It's not really
Michael, you were
building up kind of
excited
thing.
about doing it.
I told you, yes, there were lots of different emotions. Lots of
You
different
talked
emotions.
to your wife encouraged you, and you said, you know what? She
My
supported
wife
you.
talked me into it. There you go. It wasn't me. It was my wife.
She supported you.
There you go. That's what a good wife does.
Yes, she does.
supports.
And she gave you the support and gave you the confidence to do it. The confidence. If you didn't have the confidence, you couldn't have done the radio station.
So I need emotions and feelings. Yes. But that
You
came
need
from my
feelings.
wife, not from a golden person being. Sorry.
Michael, all she did was allow your feelings to implement your dream.
Okay. So where's the
That's
magic?
where the magic is the feeling and the confidence and knowing that you can do it. That's the key. That's the key to any creative process, Michael.
Okay, I can do that myself though, Tim.
Of course you can.
Where does this extra spiritual entities come into play?
Michael, you're a god.
I am not.
You
Thank
are-
you, but I am not.
Michael, you can deny that you play Santa Claus too. You can deny anything
I've
in
never
your
played
life.
Santa Claus.
But Michael, who else can create? You're a
Lots of people.
creator. You of course, everyone's a god. This is
no.
Oh,
How are you
oh,
using this word, Tim? Let's settle that because this is coming up a lot. How are you using the word God?
someone that can create and manifest their realities.
Someone that creates. Okay, so we're all gods because we create. Man, that's a very low bar for a god.
Oh, come on now, Michael.
Come on,
you
Tim.
can-
That's
you
a low
all-
bar.
No, it's not a low bar. Everybody creates, right?
Right, that makes it a low bar to be a god because everybody creates. The bar is pretty low for a god. It just has to
No.
create.
Well, the thing is that everyone's a god. They don't know they're a god. And what they create depends on their level of maturity in their mind and how they experience their life experiences to know whether their creations are positive or negative, whether they benefit them or they don't benefit them, if they feel good about what it is they're manifesting. A god doesn't create evil things. Well, there are gods that create evil things.
Tim, if we're all gods, yeah, that statement doesn't fly at all.
No, well, there's immature gods
Oh,
that
we're
don't believe in them. That
Tim.
don't believe in
Oh,
themselves.
man. Tim, this is a lot. This is a lot to take in. I have enjoyed this. This has been fun, though. I do appreciate your time and your answers. We're out of time here. We're over the limit. I'm
Okay,
shocked we made
Michael.
it this far. This has been great. Thank you, Tim. All right. So,
All right, Michael, my pleasure.
any closing arguments, statements, or where you can plug your stuff? Absolutely. Where can we find you, Tim?
Oh, people can go to my website,
There it is.
www.thepathtowoneness.com.
Hmm.
And I'm not here to convince anybody, Michael. I'm just here to have a conversation with you.
Absolutely. We're just here to understand each other. And I didn't leave more understanding, but I did leave knowing you a little better, Tim, and you seem like a nice person. So stay safe out there. We'll stay in touch. I'll let you know when this comes out, man.
All right, Michael, you take care. Have a great day now.
You too. Talk to you later.
All right, bye-bye.
And that's all the show there is for you today. Thanks for listening. If you like what you heard and want to help keep the recording light on, simply go to patreon.com/BSW the podcast and sign up to be a supporter of the show. Your episodic tithes of $1 or more will give you access to the patron feed, unaired conversations, early access to each episode, and much more. For the latest events, BSW swag, and a peek behind the scenes, head on over to the show's ever-evolving webpage at thebiblesayswhat.com. The Bible Says What the book is out. Head on over to thebiblesayswhat.com and get yourself and your grandma a signed copy. Thanks to the cosmic powers of the internet, it is now possible to buy me a beer or coffee online. Simply go to buymeacoffee.com/BSW the podcast and click the appropriate buttons. If you can't support the show monetarily, please like, share, and or leave a review. As always, you can find me at the Bible Says What Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Instagram pages. You can also reach me at bswthepodcast@gmail.com. And no matter which platform you use to listen to your podcasts, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you won't miss out on the next episode. Until then, would you kindly pick up your Bibles and read them? Miles. Shitstain, help me out here. Miles Shitstain Morales over here. Miles Shitstain Morales. You know, they don't tell you about keeping a tarantula. They shit a lot. And it's messy. It's fucking gross. I gotta stick my hand in there and clean it up. That's what they don't tell you about tarantulas. You heard it here, folks.